Hello, hi. Hi, good evening. Hi, this is Christine Crowle here, and welcome to the channel. And sorry about the delayed reaction there. I just wanted to jump on here in terms of talking about how business owners, CEOs can do damage limitation control to help with their business. We are in a situation where we really don't know the outcome from, well, what the effects are going to be from the budget, from the UK budget that was done in October. And there's a lot of things that to me is not fair. So I'm speaking for my clients as well as for the UK as well, the UK public. And I just wanted to jump in and do this video because I think it's important to to talk about this, how to do damage limitation, because this is not something that we need to start thinking about next year. It's something that we need to implement now, that we need to start thinking about right now and looking at implementing as soon as possible, so that you, the company, for example, as well as your employees as well, so that everyone is safe. We want to make sure that everyone is safe in their jobs, for example. But the way things are looking, it just seems as if the implications from the national insurance, for example, is going to raise taxes and things like that. And I just think it's going to be very difficult for the organizations that are currently have got like lots of employees, for example, as well as the larger organizations, because it's not just about seasonal work. It is about work that is 365 days of the year you expect to have that job. You're not self-employed, you are an employee, for example. And I wanted to talk about some of the steps that can be taken as well. So first of all, with regards to damage limitation control, this is all part of business recovery. To protect a business, for example, you need to think about these things because you know what is happening. So you, as the director, need to take some responsibility and start implementing some of the damage limitation mode, they call it, for example. They call it limitation modes. But first of all, damage limitations is about identifying critical risk, and you need to take rapid strategic steps to contain these effects so that it doesn't go out of control and then you lose your business, for example. Because we've got, thankfully we've got some background evidence of what's happened before with the, for example, the recession in 2008. So there's a bit of history there that we can learn from, as well as there's books as well that we can learn from. But we can especially learn from what happened in 2008. I was definitely affected by that, for example, and a lot of people was. There's 500 businesses going out, out of business in a week in the UK. And that was even before, that was 2023. We don't really have the full numbers for 2024, never mind 2025 that's coming up with the budget plan as it is. I'm just going to sip my tea. So welcome everyone, my name's Christine Crowle, and I just want to go straight into this because it is really, really important. I'm very passionate about it. It's something that's very close to my heart as well. Okay, so what you need to be thinking about is financial control. what is your cash flow like and your liquidity. You've got to make sure that you've got a good cash flow. Start looking at what you're paying out on. What things do you have? I mentioned it in one of my other videos here, and I will put the link here as well, about what you're actually paying out on monthly that you don't even use, that you could get rid of. So that's going to save you money. The more money that you can try and save for your business, you will be better financially secure for if you do need that cash for a rainy day. That umbrella story, always have an umbrella for a rainy day, for example. You need to be thinking of that. You've got 5 months before the budget hits, and you know what is happening. So that what can you do from your point of view? And yes, this petition has been signed, and wow, it's just going up all the time. I think it'll probably be 3 million by the end of the day. Can you see that? It's just going up all the time. Look, it's just going up. The numbers are just huge. So what is it that you can do that's going to help you to have some financial control? Okay, so you've got to think about how you as an organization can do the damage limitation. One good way is to create a framework called the damage limitation mode, and we have that in our bootcamp training as well, which is completely brand new. And it's really strange because I was thinking about this months ago before the budget even came out. And that's why I did the 30-day CEO challenge, because to help you to deal with challenges, because I knew that this challenge was coming up, but I didn't realize how big that challenge would be, for example. But I do have some information with regards to some workflows that you can start introducing as well into your business, and really looking at assessing, analyzing the situation. Okay, we know that the damage is caused by the budget, what has been said from the Councillor Checker, Rachel Reeves, from Starmer, for example, and there's also the Health Secretary as well. And we know that they say that there's this, this big amount of money that's not been accounted for, and it's lost. Where has it gone? It doesn't just disappear into a black hole. It's got to have gone somewhere. And surely the accountant, whoever it is that does the accounts, the auditing, etc., like they do on small businesses, I'm sure that the government has got an accountant, for example. Now, like I said, you got to think about what areas is going to be affected for you as the business owner, for example. So the areas could be that you have got an office that you're paying out for, that maybe you don't need to have such a big office, because you could have some staff members work remotely. That can save you having an office, for example, and people just work remotely. We are a virtual assistant agency as well. We do hire out virtual assistants permanently, if you want them permanently, or on a ad hoc basis. No contract, i.e. you don't have to sign them up for 6 months like what I used to have to do if I was going to use a virtual assistant. Our virtual assistants have been trained as well. They've been DBS, they've been checked, etc. But like I said, a company can say to the staff members that they have, look, why don't you work from home, for example, and then you can monitor them on Google Meet, where you all meet online, and there's a manager who manages them remotely. But it needs to be done in order for it to be effective. Okay, so that could cut down costs straight away. Speak to, if you do have a rent that you're paying for an office, speak to the building, for example, to say, look, I need to give notice come April, for example. Okay, so start putting the things in place now, or see whether you can make it a lot sooner than April. Maybe you can give 3 months notice due to this situation that has happened. It's a crisis. As far as I'm concerned, it is a crisis. And you've got to put things in place. So you've got to prioritize what is critical, what issues is critical that requires your immediate attention. Don't wait for April to come. Start doing it now. Okay? Financial stability. You want to reduce any unnecessary expenses. If you have to let people go, you got to let them go. Sometimes with companies, it's seasonal, right? So they know that they're going to go at a certain time, November, before, the Christmas, and then perhaps come back in January. But with this happening, what is it that is going to help you save money for your business? Because sometimes things are seasonal as well. So focus on preserving your cash flow. That cash flow is your liquidity, and you need to have that ready for if and when the storm hits your organization. Negotiate with your creditors and your suppliers and lenders and say, look, can I reduce the rate, or can I cut back on something, or can I stop and then I can start in 6 months' time? Just like how the banks did many years ago, the bounce back loans and all the other types of loans that they gave out. They gave you 6 months, a year, for example, before you started paying it back, for example. However, that's not available now. So you got to look at negotiating with your creditors, for example, your suppliers. Do you really need the items that you're ordering as well? So look at that. That's really important. And the next thing is you got to have internal communication. Okay? Inform your team and the staff members about the situation and what your plans are to address it. Don't sweep it under the carpet. Don't avoid that conversation, because they're not stupid. They know what's going on. Okay? They know that things are happening. So you need to speak to them. The sooner the better, to put their minds at ease as well as your mind at ease. You'll be able to sleep better once you've done that. Okay? You want to be able to keep the morale high by being transparent and supportive. Now, when I say this, I don't mean for you to bawl your eyes out and cry and go, I don't know what to do. This is stressing me out. Not like that. You need to just sit and have a meeting and talk with your team members and staff members and see what they come up with as well. Get their feedback about what they think about things. Whether it's good or bad, it's still good to hear from your team members, for example. So create an external communication. So prepare a message for clients, suppliers, for example, and address any of their concerns that they may have, really quickly, and outline the steps being taken. They will understand that, because your clients will know that this cutback and this thing is happening to everyone's going to be affected. It's not just businesses. We're all affected here. But we've all got to work together so that we can get over this mountain, for example, that needs to be climbed. There's no way of avoiding it, because it seems like they're not stopping. It seems like they're not going to go back on anything that they've said, because I've listened to Rachel Reeves in the CBI conference, which was yesterday. She doesn't sound like she's going back on anything. She's saying, I stand by what I say. It's going to be uncomfortable for everyone, but everyone's got to just basically suck it up. That's what she's saying. And same with Starmer, for example. I can't pronounce his first name. With his Starmer, with his name, and with what he's doing, the Prime Minister, he doesn't sound like he's backing down either. You know, it's like, I just don't understand. But I'm not a politician, so I can't really understand that. So think of what your short-term recovery plan is going to be. So you want to outline some clear actions to stabilize the operations and prevent further damage. So think about what your operations are for the whole company. You write it down, you list it one by one. What is your operations? Telephone, software, equipment, staff members, for example, laptops, office. What other tools do you need for your business, or that you've got for your business that you're not actually using? How many Microsoft licenses do you have? Maybe get rid of some of that. What else can you think of as well that you're not using? And look at all of your operations and see what it is that you can cut out to make savings, and start doing that now. Like I said, don't wait for April. Start doing that now so that you can start saving, ready for when April comes. It's not going to be like this big massive hole that they keep talking about, for example, is not going to be your effect, for example. Okay, so I just wanted to go through that with you, some of the bootcamp training that we cover as well. So you've got to get lean. There's no other way of saying this. You've got to get lean and adapt. So you need to stabilize the situation, review what you feel is wrong, and implement preventative measures to avoid any reoccurrence. Because if you start this now, then next month you have got savings, for example, that you can start putting towards one side, ready for when April comes and the storm possibly hits you or may not hit you, or crisis, but at least you've got money there to pay for any surprises, for example. So think about how you can prevent the small problems from escalating. Okay? You want to preserve the long-term health of your business, because this is the reason why you're doing this. Okay? You don't want your business to be bleeding money out, and then April comes, you haven't done anything to stop the bleeding. They talk about ripping the plaster off. You've got to make the step yourself now, basically. And it's very unfortunate that they've implemented all of these things all at once. It's like they're doing all of the worst case scenarios that you could ever think of is being hit all at once, and they want you to just accept it and deal with it. They're not even doing it over the 4 years. They're implementing it like straight away. It's like they're a horse getting ready to race, and they've opened the gate and they're bolting now. So you've got to bolt as well. I think that was kind of like a pun then, and it wasn't meant to be. But you've got to bolt, and you've got to really look at what you can do as a business to protect your business, and also to protect your staff members. Because if things go the way that they're saying, that there will be some job losses. There will be job losses. But it's not just the job losses. Even the staff members that you've got, even though the pay has gone up to £12.21 per hour, for example, and the national insurance has gone up and they haven't been affected on their pay slip, they will see, your employees will see it when they go to the supermarket, when they go for a coffee, or they go to meet a friend, for example, or they go to buy something. Everybody is going to see the increase. Packaging, that's going to go up. Look, all the big companies are talking about laying staff off. And what is that going to do? Same with the schools. The private schools having to pay, the parents, working parents having to pay 20% tax for sending their child to private school. It's like they're being penalized for it. So we're going to be holding a damage limitation strategy. This is going to be a webinar, and it's going to be for small businesses that's in crisis, for example. And this will be a series that I'm going to be doing, like I did the 30-day CEO challenge, for when you're having to cope with challenging situations. What habits do you need to form? Mindset, that's what I was going through. Please do watch the videos from that. I think it's about 20 hours worth of videos, which I think you will find very helpful. But I will be posting on here regularly as well. We have got our workshops that we're doing. We've got a boot camp, which is next month. For example, it's a 3-day boot camp, and it's called the Crisis Proof Your Business, for example, boot camp. We've got free webinars, we've got free classes, we've got free training. We've also got coaching as well, group coaching for business owners, so that we can go through the structures for business recovery. It is a training program, and it is for CEOs. And I tell you what, I wish I had it before the recession hit us, because I would have been more prepared, for example. And I wasn't, and a lot of people weren't prepared. We didn't know what to do. So this is why I'm here. So I hope that you'll be able to join me for the actual boot camp, because it's something that's going to benefit. The webinar is free, and I would love for you to be there. And the training, the 5-day training, that is going to be free. It's going to be on YouTube here as well. But I also would love for you to book a free 15-minute consultation with me, so I can talk to you further and talk about what damage limitation modes that you can introduce into your business by me speaking to you and having a quick, audit of your business, so that it prevents any small problems from escalating into big problems. For example, before April, we need to prepare now for this. This is not something that we need to take lightly. This is something which, and I know you're not taking it lightly, because look at this. I mean, just look at the petition here. I know that you're not taking it lightly. So, don't think I do think that. But I do want you to take some actions as well. You've done the petition. Now you've got to do some actions, business owners, to, limit the damage that's going to happen to your business. And I'm going to say damage because I see it as that. If you don't act on these things now, it's going to be a problem for you come April. And then you don't want to be like the 500 businesses a week that go out of business. It is, it's something which is been pushed onto the British public, and it's something that we've got to try and look at how we can. I just pray that they're going to give the winter fuel payments to the elderly I just, that really does break my heart, to tell you the truth. It breaks my heart to know that they've like snatched that away. I don't understand that. There's lots of things wrong, but it just seems that, you know, it's affecting everybody, and it shouldn't be in this way. So I hope that you have enjoyed this training this evening and this discussion where I talk about how you can, you know, really look at assessing your risk for your business and identify your biggest threats to your business right now. And I would love for you to do that and to really go through that. With our 5-day, we're going to cover, I'll tell you what we're going to cover, which is, it's a free thing. Assess your risks, so identifying the biggest threats to your business. Then I'm going to be covering the stabilizing your finances, protect your business finances now, because you need to start doing that. And then also protect your customers and employees by building trust in tough times as well. Then I'll be covering quick recovery plan, and this is your business recovery blueprint. That's what I'll be covering. And also build resilience for the future. And this is just going to be like an overview, really, to get you thinking about things, because it is important. You know, as you know, the UK budget, it was announced on the 30th of October 2024, and the measures did increase the national insurance, and there's lots of other things that have been mentioned as well. Minimum wage was increased, and they're saying that it's a huge loss, and they've got to get this money back somehow. But I don't agree with it. But what we can do as business owners is to do what we can do, okay? Because, you know, what's going to happen is people they're going to have to cut staff because of the labour budget. They're going to have to really, they're affecting the businesses because of the, well, they call it tax grab and job cuts, for example. And also shoppers are facing price increase. So really, I don't think anyone has won here. I think everyone is losing. There's no benefit. Maybe you could tell me in the comments here what the benefits have been, because I'm a bit lost, and I'm sure these nearly 3 million people that signed this petition, they're not in any agreement with any of it. I don't believe, you know. Please do comment in the section here, and I will answer your questions, but it would be nice for other people to see as well. And I hope that you've enjoyed today's discussion. I've really enjoyed being here and talking to you about this, because I think it's an important subject, and that's the reason why I've come here tonight, just to quickly come in and talk to you about what's happening with because we've got the live petition, of course, and look at it, it's going up as I'm talking to you, for example. But also I wanted to talk about some measures that you can start putting into place, ready for when the April happens, that you've got something ready, so that you can combat this, okay? Because you've got this. It's not the petition. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know whether they're going to listen, but because I'm listening to them, and they're saying that they're not listening to the budget. They're going to go ahead with what they said that they're going to do, and I'm referring to the Prime Minister and the Health Secretary, and also the Rachel Reeves as well. They're going ahead. There's nothing that they're saying that they're not backtracking on anything right now, currently. But things could change. You know, this is democracy. Things could change. I pray and I hope it does. But I wanted to talk to you about what you can do in the meantime, and to really protect your business and your employees as well. So thank you so much for joining me today, and do comment here, like and subscribe please, so that you can get the updates for when I'm going live. I'm going to start the training that will be starting next week, for example, but I will be coming in here every day. I plan to do 2 or 3 videos a day, because there's a lot of news going on, also with the NHS and things like that. So I hope that you've enjoyed today's discussion, and let's build things, let's get things going again. Do comment, let me know your thoughts on what I've said, and what you think about this, and where you feel it would benefit you to do a business recovery plan of some sort. All right, so thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you. Take care. Goodbye.